I wasn't sure your parents would let you come see me.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask them. I'm kind of past that stage now.
Independent. Just like your father.
Right. So why'd you want to see me?
I owe you big thanks.
Anybody would have done the same.
I'm not too sure, but that's neither here nor there. You did.
Well, you're welcome.
Lucky, you know who I am.
Yeah, I didn't at first.
Well, Frank Smith is my father. The same Frank Smith that's been making your family jump through hoops since before you were born.
No.
If you'd known that when you saw me in the catacombs, would you have tried to save me?
The truth?
Please.
Yeah. I don't know, it would have been a tough call. I mean, you can understand, right? You know, I mean, I've had to deal with a lot of stuff because Luke Spencer's my father. Why shouldn't you have to pay the sins of yours?
That's a very precocious thing to say.
I'm a very precocious kid.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't expect any less considering your genetic makeup.
Yeah. Anyway, to answer your question, you didn't ask to be a son, and I couldn't let anyone die underground in a pool of water. It's not my style. What are the doctors saying?
Oh, then I'll be as good as new. Eventually.
You believe him, don't you?
Some days are harder than others.
Well, if it helps any, I know my way around the hospital pretty well, and the doctors here are really cool. They're very honest. And if they say you're going to be okay, you probably will.
Thanks. You know, I think I like you.
Don't force yourself.
No, really. I'll tell you what, why don't we leave the fighting to our respective fathers, and you and I just start a new slate, fresh and clean. What do you say?
Yeah, I guess so. Why not?
Shake on it? And remember, I owe you. If your father's ever not around, you need anything, just call. You promise?
It's not that much of a shock. No, it was definitely Edward Quartermain's gun. Right, I'll keep you posted. Okay. Bye, Miss Quinlan. You don't look so hot.
I'm angry, Luke. It's too much time. Too much time with my father's murderer walking the streets unpunished, and I want it over.
It will be.
You ever stop to think about the absurdity of this? I mean, a bullet is a very small piece of lead. And in the blink of an eye, can snatch away a man's life. In less time than it takes to blow out a candle, a man is dead, and all the lives around him altered forever. I mean, I'm not the same man I would be if my father had lived. My grandmother, my mother, my sister, all irrevocably changed because my father took a bullet in his head sitting in his own backyard.
Now, Justice, your father didn't die because of a bullet. Your father died because someone had their finger on a trigger and they pulled it.
And it looks like that someone could be Edward Quartermain.
No!
Edward Quartermain did not kill Bradley.
How can you be so sure?
I am sure.
At the very least, Mae Mae, he's in this up to his eyebrows.
You don't know what you're talking about, either one of you.
And you do?
Yes.
Why is this concept so upsetting to you? If Edward Quartermain turns out to be the killer, does it make that much of a difference?
Of course not.
Then what?
I don't know. Maybe he's having a name for the first time. A name attached to someone I know. You know, for 20 years, I believed that your father committed suicide. That doesn't sit easy. He was my son. And no one knew him better than I did. And something should have clicked. I should have heard alarm bells go off when I saw him dead on that bench. Why was I so ready to accept that he would take his own life?
Maybe because of what's happening right now, Mae Mae. Maybe because it was just too much to know that you would recognize the name and the face of whoever did this to your son.
He was a good man. He wasn't perfect, Luke, but he had such a good heart. No, he didn't deserve to die that way with his brain seeping out of a hole in his head. And then the thought that my silence and my inaction protected his killer's soul.
Granny Mae,
All these years, Luke.
you thought you were protecting Daddy. Please, please, stop beating yourself up about this.
We're getting closer to the answer, Mae Mae. We will find out who did this.
I believe it. But look, when you come to the end of that gun, you're not going to find Edward Quartermain's finger on the trigger.